We're going to be making another video today. I'd like to, I played a couple games already, but I feel like I should make a video every single night. Perhaps to basically reassess how I'm doing. I did win the first 3 games I played, so I'm going to be looking to play again, and hopefully we can continue running good, and perhaps take one down again. So here we go. This time I do have Sharkscope up, sorry. So we will be looking up our opponent as he joins and using that information to basically piece together or paint a general picture of what our opponent's going to think and perform like, and when he does actually play, we'll match that information and see if it overlays with his behavior during the match. So, just waiting. You know what? I'm going to pause the video for now, and when someone joins, we'll resume. Alright, so we do get a game, and the first thing we're going to do is Sharkscope who he is, and like I said before, try to use that information to paint an initial picture. So I'm just going to get out of there for now. Gree Blosu. And right away, he's an insta-fish. Over 491 games, he's got an average profit of minus $1.3 and a staggering negative 17% ROI. And this graph is just going to look ugly. So we're just going to go ahead and play a standard game against this guy. We don't need to do anything too rash, as I always say. And standard ABC poker mixed in with a couple interesting meta spots would definitely be all you need to take out someone like this. I'm not too sure what his display picture means. But what I expect to see here is a lot of limping, a lot of, just as I say that, he raises a lot of limping, a lot of, unorthodox plays like donk betting, not as much 3-betting as you might expect from a normal player, and just someone who just has a lot of leaks and no one's ever told him how to plug them. So here we go. So as you can see, the very first hand, well, not the very first hand, but I believe it's the 5th hand, he decides to shove over the top of our ace-5 here, and let's just look at this for a second and put ourselves in his shoes. What does he have here? Well, he clearly has something that's beating us. That's obviously a given. If I were to pin him on a range, I'd say any pocket pair, ace-king, ace-queen, ace-jack, and even king-queen suited. I don't think he'll do this with something like king-jack or king-den, but you can definitely expect him to be pushing a very wide range there. I don't think these players are aware of the fact that, yeah, sure, you might have a decent hand pre-flop. Let's say, let's put out the example 8s or something, but honestly, the value that comes from 8s or 7s or any pocket pair like that, against our calling range in that specific situation, you're either going to be dominated or at best racing. And if you're doing that with hands like ace-jack, ace-10 this early, then you're going to be dominated by our calling range, which only will be ace-king, aces, kings, queens, jacks, 10s, pans that basically 70-30 you, 60-40 you sometimes, or 80-20 you, which is pure domination. So, just a good sign of a player, of someone we want to be involved with. Here he 3-bets us. He makes it 160 on top of our initial 3x, and we will call. He has been fairly active, surprisingly, and we do flop the flush draw. If he bets huge here, it's going to be a bit of an issue because of stack sizes. But we will see what he does. And he pots it. So, see, this is a spot where, yes, we do have the nut flush draw. Yes, we do have the ace, which is probably going to be good. But the only thing that we're missing out on here right now is our fold equity. We have no fold equity. And the pot's laying us about 2-1. But the question is, are we a 33% favorite here? Let's see. Yes, we will have 33% equity here in most scenarios if this guy even has a queen or ace queen or something. No, if he has king queen, jack queen, hands like that, we're 33%, but we're getting crushed by hands like ace queen, So I'm just gonna let it go. Had he bet something like 220, 250, even 260, that's a bet that I would definitely call. But or in even some cases I would go over the top. But in that specific situation, he gave us no room for fold equity because of his giant, massive bet. So we will continue with our match here, and we're not even doing too badly chips wise. We're see, this guy is just going insane, and we're just gonna let him hang himself. Definitely no need to do anything too fancy against him. No need to get involved in pots out of position with weak to marginal holdings. Just play him in position, and hopefully he stacks off. Ace 4 here, we flop the ace. We're gonna definitely c-bet and look to get called and make 2 additional streets of value. But he indeed folds. Excuse me. Oh wow, he's playing a bunch of stuff. Apparently he's a $1 grinder. I remember those days. 5-9 here. Flop middle pair. Leads out for 60. We're just going to toss it because most turn cards are going to be, most turn cards are going to be pretty horrible for us anyways. And as such, it's typically better for me anyways just to let my ego go and get done with the hand right there, because we know for a fact we can get into some pretty equitable spots against this guy over the course of many hands, and it's best for us to not do anything too ambiguous. So King 10 here suited. We don't know if this guy will fold to c-bets because we haven't had an opportunity to see many flops with him in position, but here we will give it a shot. If he does call us, we can presume that our King or 10, if we do hit, might be good often enough if he's calling with an 8 or deuce. And he could very well have those holdings, given how this guy, he's been playing a lot of hands recently, and he's shown to have a typically really, really wide range on the flop. So here we go, deuce 10 with the queen jack. I'm just going to check it. As I said before, I'm looking to make hands against this guy, and what's important to note is that I did c-bet the hand before this. And so from his perspective, given how he's an aggressive player, as we've seen, an aggressive fish, I guess that's the right term, he has a keener eye to see to know that perhaps I'm getting out of line sometimes, and as such, he might be more tempted to actually go for to go for an out of position float, to call me with what he thinks is a high card, that he thinks that he believes is winning. He might be essentially more inclined to do things like this, where he is giving me less credit than I'm perceived to have. So he does min raise us. Yeah. Okay. I made a mistake this hand. This was definitely a hand that I should have checked behind because of a situation like that. Exactly. And exactly like a situation like that. With bottom pair there on the King 9-8 board. I don't know why. But definitely checking on that board would have definitely been a lot easier play-wise than to actually bet there and try to take down the hand. Because our hand here there does have a lot of showdown value. And he's going to be playing out of position against us. And this is a situation right now where I won't c-bet. I'm just going to check it behind and play a turn and not get myself in an ambiguous spot against this crazy, unpredictable player that we're facing. So he does check again. And at this point in the hand, I will bet out. simply because we probably did have the best hand on the turn, and you know, when the 6 hits, the question here is, how often is he bluffing and how often does he have the 7? And 180 into 460, it's tough. Yeah, we timed out. We don't have any time left. I was gonna fold that hand regardless. Jack 7, we're gonna toss. King 9, we'll raise. And again, he is on super run me over mode right now. I played a guy like this yesterday who was raising every single hand, 3-betting me constantly, and I indeed got, you know, run over, and it came to a point where when I had 1100 chips to his 1900, and I picked up queens, and we got into a 3-bet, 4-bet, 5-bet battle pre-flop, and for some reason he showed up with aces, and, you know, knocked me out of the tournament when it should have put me in a fairly good position to win the tournament. And so I think that's what it comes down to normally in these games, is one hand where you're going to be a 70-30 or 60-40 dog, you know, like in a situation like this, and you just got to hope that you hold. And it looks like we might hold here. I am never one to judge until the river card hits, so we do. And we can expect him to go on super monkey tilt right after that hand. So we'll just wait for another hand, and we're lucky that we won that 60-40, and we'll be looking to win the next 60-40. And as much as a donkfest, or as much as a crapshoot that might seem to be, it's technically the only way. It's one of the only ways to beat this guys. It's the easiest way to beat these guys. And right here, we can just hope that he decides to continue on with his monkey tilt. So here we go. I don't want him to fold, so I'm going to bet enough that he'll call with the weaker end of his range. And when a beautiful flop like that comes down, we're just going to start firing and commit this guy to the hand. So 420 should do it. He does fold. So the best case scenario would be for him to essentially 4-bet shove all in pre-flop over